There we
Yes,
go.
we are.
Yay.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Conversations Outside the Box from me, Mara, and
Elvira
from
Hopper.
hi, everyone.
Yay.
Um, Today, we're going to be talking about change, change in opinion, having to pause, and how that is okay if you need to recess,
Yeah.
if you need to realign, if you need to just take time to rest, or maybe because things happen and you just have to figure things out. This is because I kind of got inspiration from what I'm going through, and how attached I am to what I'm doing and how I'm doing, having my day and all of the things. But sometimes our soul wants us to really do other things, and that doesn't mean that you're gonna have to give up, especially if we're talking about business. Doesn't mean giving up. It only means maybe spending less time building something different, creating foundation in order for you to then do this again on a full-time basis or whatever that could be, so that everybody so that you can actually grow, or maybe you just need to learn something. But I realize also, speaking to a lot of clients that might be in that situation where they're like having a full-time job and a side hustle, they want to have the side hustle becoming the full-time job, how the attachment to things, and how we kind of make our business the extension of ourselves, and sometimes we get too attached to it and we don't really see what's happening.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No worries.
Where else? I was hearing my voice again, and I think Zoom was doing something weird. So this is what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. How's the internet? Is it okay?
I think I think we have a little bit of time, and so by the time I finish talking and the time you
Yeah.
hear me, it takes a little while.
Okay.
So let's play with
Okay.
that.
Amazing. So tell us about your situation that you're going through right now, Mara.
Well, if you've been following me on here on my Facebook group or on YouTube, you will know that I am staying in Italy and I'm staying with my mom. And I've done a lot of work on myself in order to try to heal the relationship with my mom. But you don't heal a relationship with a mom if you have a narcissistic mother. You heal the
Mm,
relationship that you have with yourself, and you learn to
mm,
understand yourself and to stop being afraid of things, and you really start to learn to understand who you are. So basically she decided to tell me that I have to leave, and this means for me, as I was getting my business to start going in a direction that I wanted to, but it was taking me a little while,
mm,
um, meant that the quickest way to get out of here and to stop being bullied by someone that just doesn't like the way I am was to move back to London, which is something that I wanted to do anyway. But I was kind of like trying to get enough clients, enough money to then do a move in a different way. But that is probably not what my soul wants me to do. Probably I have other lessons to learn. So I started looking for a job, and I'm moving to London in a couple of weeks. And it took me a little while to say, okay, I gotta have to let go of the plan that I have in my mind,
mm-hmm.
and I gotta have to go into this new way of being and this new part of my life, which means having to work full time for someone else and use my spare time to do to work on my business, and which means doing less things and concentrating on other stuff. And you know, it wasn't difficult to look for a job. It was difficult to get to terms that I need to pause for a moment, because I've had such a emotional a year and a half, and really, really draining. I've learned a lot, but I keep feeling very tired. And so obviously I am not in my best energy. And I know, and I do understand that this is going to put me in my best energy, because at that point I will be free. I won't have anybody trying to block me or, make me feel small or anything like this. And I know this is going to allow me to be myself and do both, have a job and have a business, and then eventually just let go of the job and do what I really want to do. But this was a change in my mindset, a change in the plan that I had in my mind, and a change in everything, in the way in who I think I am, who I think I was, and all of that. And sometimes that is a little bit painful to do.
Yeah, yeah. That's thank you so much for sharing so vulnerably. Yeah, I mean, this is what interesting. I do 3 shows on Wednesdays now. I have an IG live show, and I do another one called Conversations to Raise Vibrations with Lisa Kelly, and then I do yours. And we just talked about this, how we have plans, and then the universe says, kind of goes, aha, you think that's your plan. I'm going to show you something even better. And sometimes that even better shows up as crap at first, right? Like your mother treating you that way is actually a gift if you want to go deeper into it and see it that way, because she's forced you to do the inner work to heal and realize, okay, I can't, she is what she is, but who am I? How am I showing up in the face of this narcissistic mother? Am I able to take my power back from her? Which you did. And you're choosing now. Well, you didn't choose it. You were told, but that was the universe having to hit you upside the head because you weren't really listening. And she forced you out to go and do what you're supposed to be doing, which is to be in London, to be with people that really see you, that get you, and know that they know your brilliance. Your mother is only capable of so much. She's still inside the box, right? You are so big, you are outside the box, and therefore you are not an energetic match for her. So she's had to, make you leave because it was so uncomfortable. Like, this is what the universe does. And sometimes it has to hit us upside the head. And that's what's happened. So I am so happy for you, Mara. I am so excited that you're leaving to go back to a place where you're going to feel so much more aligned. And I know that we're going to have to pause our thing for a little while, just as you get up and running, because you're going to have a full-time job. But we'll make it work. We'll come back. I know that. And that's what this show is about. Sometimes you have to pivot, right? I had to pivot today. I do this show every Wednesday morning. Just started it last week. Had my second one today. I was supposed to bring on a light worker because what I do, it's called Live on IG with Elvira and Friends. And so what I'm doing is shining a light on light workers so they get to illuminate the planet. And this woman, she just couldn't come on camera, so I had to do it all by myself. And I was like, oh my goodness, like how do I talk to this woman when it's just me on camera? But it worked. It worked because the intention was right, and she talked to me in the chat, and somehow we still got her message out there. And so I had to pivot. My expectation was she was going to be on camera with me, and the reality was she wasn't, right? So I mean, this is just a silly example compared to yours, but the idea is that the universe wanted me to share more about myself today as opposed to just shining a light on someone else. So somebody was meant to hear that today and might be reaching out to me, and I can serve them. So pivoting is so important when we see things don't go the way we want, but we have to trust that the universe knows what's better for us. And Oprah said it best when she said, one of my favorite quotes of hers is this: the universe dreamed a much bigger dream than I could have ever dreamed for myself. And so, you going through this, Mara, is absolutely perfect because, you get to share this story again, and women and men too that have narcissistic parents are going to be able to go, oh my God, Mara, what you went through, I'm going through right now. And if you survived, I can do it too. You give them what I like to say hits: hope, inspiration, and tools, because you got to do it. They get to do it. It's almost like you're holding up a torch and saying, hey guys, I survived
this
this. I
way.
did it.
Yeah.
You can do it too. In fact, I have a
Yeah.
shortcut for you. So,
Yeah.
Mara, I'm so excited for you, sister.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right when you said that. Like, it's painful. It's very painful to
Mm.
to live in an environment, or even to, even if you don't live with a narcissistic person or dysfunctional person, it's really painful because you kind of we grew up thinking that we can fix people, we can help
Mm.
everybody, and the
Yeah.
thing is that it's not possible. And at the same time, the more you want that relationship to go in a certain way, if that's not meant to go, it's just going to come back at you. Now, I knew what I was coming back here for, because I heard my soul telling me this,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that I had to come back for lessons and for to heal myself. But it's still very painful to have your mother telling you really shitty things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
really, waking up with a bad mood in the morning and just picking on you and trying to make your life as miserable as possible, because she is miserable and she
Yeah.
cannot see you happy or relaxed, or the way you are. So it takes a toll on you. And
Yeah.
I do understand this is for me to really help me shine my light even brighter than I am
Yeah.
right now, and really release any kind of guilt or any kind of attachment that we have. I work so much with women that, and every time we work together, especially when we're doing a color therapy session or any kind of other intuitive sessions,
Mm-hmm.
those limitations that come from our family are so strong within us. And it doesn't matter how long you've been working on yourself and
Mm.
how old are you, how successful you have become. Those limitations are so much within you. And this is why it's necessary, whenever we are in those situations that are so totally awful, and where you feel sometimes, how am I going to get out of this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How am I going to move? How am I going to make it with the money? Whatever that could be.
Yeah.
But it's really important to set intentions to your soul. The moment you listen to your soul, slowly
Mm.
things are going to start to
Yeah.
uh, come together. And like, I was like, okay, well, I know I have experience and I know I can find a job very quickly, but I have nobody left in London that I can really trust. It's like a
Mm.
couple of people, but you never know how people are gonna respond to you. And I started asking, do you have a place, can I stay with you? And one of
Mm.
my friends said, yeah, of course you can. And it has
Oh.
a 1 bedroom place, and it means I'm going to be all over the place because I'm going to have to be on the sofa.
Yeah.
But just knowing that there is someone that cares for me, and all
Yeah.
the things aligning.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, oh my god, this is not going to be possible, how am I going to move all the stuff? And then you have friends telling you, oh, you can leave your boxes with me, and then when you
Wow.
need them, I can send it out for you. Sometimes small things can make you go overriding in your mind.
Mm.
But you do realize that if things are lining up, it's because that's your way and not
Yeah.
where you're at. Also, because you
Yeah.
will see things are not working there. Like, you
Yeah.
can try to push and push and push to make things happen, but they won't work. So you need a
Mm-hmm.
break. You need a moment to
Yeah.
change completely, to do something that you didn't think you were going to do again.
Yeah.
But that's because there is something there for you to either open up to new possibilities, to learn, to grow, whatever that could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And those lessons can be really hard earned because, yeah, transitions aren't necessarily easy and fun. But if we can trust a greater source, the universe that is watching over us, it is a little bit easier to get through, right? I mean, you have such an amazing, spirituality and a set of beliefs that allow you to not stay in the muck for as long as most people do. Because if people don't have a really good set of spiritual beliefs and standards, they can really get stuck for years. I mean, that was me, right? When I lived out of alignment and I struggled with depression, anxiety, and panic disorder, wanted to die after 2 years of that. Well, that was somebody that was not living consciously. At least you've done your work. You're living consciously. You know there's a bigger reason for all of this. You know that your mother, I'm going to use my language here, your mother is actually your biggest angel of evolution. She's forcing you to evolve. As much as she doesn't look like an
Yeah,
angel or
that's
act
right.
like an angel,
Yes, that's right.
she is your best angel of evolution, because those people that push our buttons and challenge us and shame us and hate us and all those things, they're our biggest teachers. They're our biggest angels of evolution, forcing us to evolve. So yeah, so I love that, you have such an incredible mindset around this, because a lot of people would be stuck crying, or they might end up in a nervous breakdown in a hospital somewhere, like, who knows.
Yeah,
But look at you,
and
you're freaking awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
But you said something, and aside from your experience when you talked about having depression and that, I had moments in those in actually this year and a half where I a few times I was like, I can't handle this. Like,
I
I
bet.
cannot handle being treated like this by my mother. I cannot handle the pain. I cannot see a way out.
Yeah.
And it made me think, all the people that get into depression, all the people start thinking, of taking their own lives and things
Yeah,
like
that
this,
was me. That
because
was me.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when there is so much going on and you deeply don't think that you can do it, that you can handle that situation, or you're just tired to be treated that way, it can have a big toll on
Yeah.
you. And
Of course.
that's why I think it's important to share this story and talk about it, because we meet so many people that are abusive in our lives, and oftentimes can be family or people that are very close to us. They can really, really, destroy us if we don't do the work for
Yeah.
ourselves. We don't learn to understand that it's not about us. There is a
Yeah.
reason for that. We just need to learn to release those toxic
Yeah.
people, and we just need to learn to really shine our light in whichever way that could be,
Yeah.
in order to be relaxed and happy in our life, and just serene, and just have a life that has all the things that we want and we
Yeah.
and enjoy. Those are the things that we really want in our lives, and sometimes are the people that should be giving it to us, they're taking it away. And it's necessary to do that kind of work to get to this point of mindset where you're like, okay, you take the day to feel very shit about yourself,
Yeah.
maybe a couple of days, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have a pity party, and you talk to whoever, and you ask people to
Yeah.
help, and then you go and be like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Let me take one action today,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
in the next tomorrow, and I'm gonna get out of here. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen, you know.
Yeah.
And as I said, the universe will help you. The other day, I was kind of stressing out about booking the flight because the flight prices are crazy right now, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just so much. But then I was like, I'm gonna have to do it, and
Yeah.
I'll sort out the money issues later.
Yeah.
And then I was having a walk, and I am just checking. I was like, let me check. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is cheaper than 2 weeks ago. It was
Wow.
getting
Isn't that
higher and
great?
higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was getting to 300 euros. I'm like, a flight in London, 300 euros. Come on. Like, I spend the same
Yeah.
amount of money just to go to New York and come back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
double to come
Yeah.
back, but just one way
Right.
to New York. That's how much I paid. And I'm like, but and then the price was like less than 100 euros. I'm like, oh my god.
Amazing. That's
Okay,
the
so this
universe
is a
telling you you're
sign.
on track. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, this is a sign. I gotta,
That's
because I was
amazing.
waiting, I was thinking, okay, my friend is going on holiday, and I am still doing interviews, and maybe I should wait until September when he comes back. And then my mom started to be a bitch again. I'm like, oh my god, I cannot handle this anymore. I need to get out of here. And then I was like, come on,
Yeah.
universe, send me a sign, please. And I went on the website, and I booked the flight. I'm like, okay, I got the sign. Here we go. Thank you,
Amazing.
universe. But you know, I think it's really important to do the inner work, because otherwise
Absolutely.
you can really just, you know, be pushed down by certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The inner work is everything. And if we don't, then we are susceptible to the dark times for a lot longer. And they might really just knock us out. You know, there's some people that are so knocked out by life that they end up on the streets, or they end up locked up in a mental institution, or, you know, like there's so many different ways we can go. But if we do our inner work and we create a life that feels aligned, and know that everything happened for a reason and it was perfect, and the universe actually had our back, even with a, you know, bitch mom that's telling you who to be and what to do. Like, she did you a gift. She gave you a gift of you saying, no, this is not who I am. This is who I am, and
Yeah.
I'm going to take action to get to who I really am. She forced you to do that. And you're right. The woman that needs to love you most in the world is not showing up for you, but you can't get blood from a stone. This is a woman who has so much trauma that I pick up
Mm-mm.
energetically. Hurt people hurt people. That's the best she can do. So if you can, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously you've made peace with it. I know you have, but there's a lot of people out there that haven't made peace with the narcissistic parents. And, you know, like, absolutely get away from them and learn to live in a higher vibration. Learn to do the inner work to connect to who you truly are, right? As I like to say, learn to love your vibe so you become a miracle magnet. You don't have to be a crap magnet, attracting all the people and situations and things you don't want. You can be a miracle magnet, attracting the situations, people, and things you do want. It's a choice and it's action. And so you are doing all the things, Mara. And so I just want to commend you and say, you know, you got this, sister. And I also want to give you a shout out for your beautiful magic, because you did a session. I did a session on you because you were really frustrated after your mother had just kicked you out. It was like the day after your birthday, and so we connected. I think it was the day after that, and you got to realize, you got to remember who you truly are, and you got to put a plan in place and say, okay, I'm going to do this. So that shifted your vibration, right? You were in crap
Yeah,
magnet mode,
totally.
and then you shifted into miracle magnet, and that was just one short session, you know, and we did some sound healing to raise your vibration. So that was really fun to serve you. And then you served me about a week or so later with your beautiful color therapy, and it was amazing because you got to tell me my colors. So I've got magenta and gold in my color palette, or whatever you refer to it as, and you gave me a reading that was so powerful, and it just made me stand a little bit taller and feel a little more confident, and knowing that I am on the right track. I am on purpose, and I'm going to, you know, love my vibe even more. I'm using my own language. I'm going to, you know, be even a bigger miracle magnet because of that reading. So I just want to give you a shout out and say thank you, Mara. Even in the midst of all your struggles, you were able to serve me. And that's what's really beautiful. As light workers, we can be in a total shit show. We can be a hot
Oh yeah.
mess, but we can
Oh
still
yeah.
help others, right? So you can
Yeah.
serve people that need your magic, because your magic is yours to do. So I felt so blessed that day with your magic. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, and you know, to me, it's even a way to get out of the, because what I do comes from so deep within me that it doesn't matter what's happening. The moment
Yeah.
I am working with someone, it's like magic, and there is such a nice
Yes.
vibe, and whatever happens, like I
Yes.
feel better afterwards, and I'm like,
You're in your
okay, this is what
genius.
I
You're in your
needed.
genius. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, you're so powerful, and still, you know, things that came up from your reading were still things related to old stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
we think we have worked on, and they're still there, and still try to keep us small again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're just here to shine super bright.
We're
So
supernovas. That was
yeah,
my post on
yeah,
on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. Is we're all supernovas, but we got to do the inner work to connect with that
yeah,
fact
yeah,
and believe it.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I love it. I love it.
All right. Okay,
Ah, this
so
has been
if there
amazing.
is anyone
Yes.
that wants to say something, I know you there are a couple of people watching, or maybe one, but otherwise, I think we got to the half hour as usual. One thing that I want to say, we're gonna pause, if you heard her, as you heard us saying earlier, just because well, Elvira is going on holiday to celebrate her birthday. I am moving, and also gonna need a little bit of time to figure myself out, and we'll surely gonna have to change the time of this because
Yeah.
I will probably be at work by now. But we will resume this. So this is
In
taking
divine
a
timing.
moment of
This is a little
pause.
pause. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. Just because we need to reassess and change a couple of things and then come back even with more energy and more powerful conversations. So we will be back very soon. If you have any
Yes.
comments that you want to leave after the live, feel free and we'll come back to you whenever possible. And in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much, Elvira, because I just
Thank
really
you.
love those conversations.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to come back again and
Yeah.
share more stuff and help more people.
Yeah, me too, Mara. I'm so grateful for you, and I wish you all the very, very best on your journey. And we're obviously going to stay connected. We're soul sisters, and yeah. And I just want to say I'm going to Antigua on Saturday to celebrate my big 6-0 next Wednesday. A week today, I'm turning 60, and let me tell you, I have never felt better in my life. When I was 30, I lived out of alignment and I looked older than I do today. And
Right.
today at 60, I feel better than I've ever felt before. So I just want to leave that for your consideration, is that the rest of your life can be the best of your life. And I'm super excited to sail into my 60s with so much grace and
Yes.
ease and joy. So thank you, Mara. You got this, sister.
Thank you so
So
much,
much love to
everyone.
everyone. All
Thank
right.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.